Elizabeth Lynn Cheney, Tenny Cheney, brought into the world July 28, 1966, is an American lawyer and lawmaker filling in as the U.S. agent for Wyoming's Everywhere legislative region since 2017. Cheney is the House Republican Conference Chair, the third most elevated situation in the House Republican Initiative. She is the third lady chose for that position after Deborah Price and Cathy McMorris Rodgers. Cheney is the senior girl of Lynn Cheney and previous Vice President Dick Cheney. She held a few situations in the U.S. State Department during the George W. Shrubbery Organization. She has been politically dynamic for the Republican Party and is a prime supporter of Keep America Safe, a not-for-profit association worried about public security issues. She was a possibility for the 2014 political race to the United States Senate in Wyoming, testing the three-term officeholder Mike Enzi, prior to pulling out from the race. In the House of Representatives, she holds the seat that was held by her dad from 1979 to 1989. She is known for her hawkish international strategy and is disparaging of the international strategy of the Donald Trump Organization. Personal life. Liz Cheney was brought into the world on July 28, 1966, in Madison, Wisconsin. The senior of two little girls of previous Vice President Dick Cheney and previous Second Lady Lynn Cheney née Vincent. At the hour of her introduction to the world, her folks were learning at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Her more youthful sister, Mary Cheney, was additionally brought into the world in Madison. Cheney went to part of 6th and 7th grade in Casper, Wyoming, while her dad lobbied for Congress. The family part-time among Casper and Washington, D.C., during the 1970s through the 1980s following her dad's political decision to Congress. Cheney moved on from McLean High School, 1984, where she was a team promoter. She got her Bachelor of Arts degree, BA, from Colorado College, her mom's Institute of Matriculation, where she kept in touch with her senior proposition. The Evolution of Presidential War Powers, 1988. She got her JD degree from the University of Chicago Law School, 1996, having likewise taken courses in Middle Eastern history at the Oriental Institute. Cheney's relationship with her more youthful sister Mary Cheney freely endured after Liz expressed in her 2014 Senate crusade that she doesn't uphold same-sex marriage. Accordingly, Mary Cheney reviled her sister's comments, writing in a Facebook post that either you figure all families ought to be dealt with similarly or you don't. Liz's position is to regard my family as peons. Her better half Heather Poe composed a Facebook post expressing, "Liz has been a visitor in our home, has invested energy and imparted occasions to our youngsters, and when Mary and I got hitched in 2012, she didn't spare a moment to reveal to us how glad she was for us." To have her currently state she doesn't uphold our entitlement to wed is hostile without a doubt. Mary said she would not help her sister's bid, and in 2015, when inquired as to whether she and her sister had repaired their relationship, she stated, "I don't need to respond to that." Liz Cheney is hitched to Philip Perry, an accomplice at the law office of Latham and Watkins in Washington, D.C. They were hitched in Wyoming in 1993. She and Perry have 5 youngsters. Early profession. Under the watchful eye of going to graduate school. Cheney worked for the State Department for a very long time and the U.S. Office for International Development somewhere in the range of 1989 and 1993. After 1993, she accepted a position at Armitage Associates LLP, the counseling firm established by Richard Armitage, at that point a previous Defense Department official and Iran-Contra employable who later filled in as Deputy Secretary of State. In the wake of moving on from graduate school, Cheney specialized in legal matters in the private area at the law office of White & Case and as a global law lawyer and advisor at the International Finance Corporation, an individual from the World Bank Group. She has additionally filled in as Special Assistant to the Deputy Secretary of State for assistance to the previous Soviet Union, and as a USAID official in US international safe havens in Budapest and Warsaw. Appointee Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs. In 2002, Cheney was selected Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs, a previous empty post with an financial portfolio in order to advance interest in the locale. In the midst of reports, including a New York Times article by Paul Krugman, that the work was made particularly for her, in the midst of reports, including a New York Times article by Paul Krugman, that the work was made particularly for her, State Department Representative Richard Boucher said that she had come suggested by then Secretary of State Colin Powell. The Sunday Times, London, announced that Cheney's arrangement was the most captivating sign that America is coating any and all funny business about Middle East change and a proportion of the reality with which the organization was taking Middle East projects for proficiency, schooling, and change. The arrangement followed advanced strategy divisions between the Vice President's office and the State Department on Middle East approach. In that position, she was given control of the Middle East Partnership Initiative, intended to cultivate expanded popular government and monetary advancement in a aggrieved locale. The program burned through $29 million of every 2002, expanded to $129 million in the next year. Cheney's errand was to channel cash to pre-screened gatherings, some of which were not recognized openly, inspired by a paranoid fear of counters from surviving governments they tried to subvert. For the spending year 2004, the undertaking looked for $145 million.